Hello everyone, Charles Watts here, the Arsenal correspondent at Goal, joining you for another one of my videos. It's been a few days now since my last one. Apologies for that. Had a little break at the start of this week. Couple of days off after the Premier League season came to an end with that 3-2 win out against Watford on Sunday. Arsenal finishing 8th in the Premier League table. We had a couple of days off just to rest up ahead of what's going to be a very, very busy weekend for Mikel Arteta's side. It's all about Wembley, all about the FA Cup final. Arsenal versus Chelsea coming up this Saturday at the home of English football. What a massive, massive game it is for Arsenal. Not just a trophy at stake, but potentially a big chunk of their transfer budget could be at stake this summer. That's how important it is for Arsenal. Will they be playing in Europe next season? Will they have that extra revenue to come in from the Europa League? If they do, they'll be hoping to do a little bit more in the transfer market. If they don't, then it's going to be a real struggle for Mikel Arteta and at Arsenal. It's going to be a case of selling before buying. We all know that. We all know how difficult the financial situation is at Arsenal right now. That's why Saturday's game against Chelsea, it's not just about the trophy. Yes, we want the glory. Yes, we want the trophy. We want to add a 14th FA Cup to Arsenal's long and illustrious history in that competition. But it also means an awful lot more than that this time for Arsenal. That's what's at stake. The poor league season means it's come down to this for Arsenal. If they don't win the FA Cup, they won't be in Europe next season. The first time in 25 years that will have happened. And I won't have even the relatively modest revenue that generates compared to the Champions League. They won't even have that to call upon ahead of next season. So Mikel Arteta has not pulled any punches in the build-up to this. We've heard him for weeks now talking about the importance of qualifying for Europe and what it means for Arsenal and how it could help with the uncertainties that the club are facing going into this summer. So that's how important it is. And anyway, I'll be back tomorrow. I'll try and do another one of these videos tomorrow, previewing the cup final. I'm speaking to Mikel Arteta later tonight, which is Thursday. So I'll come back, join you, probably try and do another video tomorrow talking about team news and just generally previewing the final once we've spoken to Mikel Arteta. His press conference, like I say, is later tonight on the Thursday. So I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about a bit of sort of transfer news about that man Thomas Partey, obviously being the dominant force when it comes to Arsenal and transfer speculation in the past couple of months. We all know Thomas Partey is very much a key target for Arsenal, the priority target really for Arsenal. They want that dominant midfielder, box-to-box type midfielder, someone who can put his foot in, stop the opposition breaking through from midfield, offer a protection to defence, but also drive forward and start off attacks from deep. And that's what they've identified Thomas Partey as. But it's not going to be easy to get their man. We all know he's got a €50 million release clause, around £44 million. And Arsenal, as far as I've been told from sources over in Madrid, have made it clear they will not be meeting that release clause. They've made it known to Atletico that they will not be paying that release clause, but they do want to get a deal done. Now, the issue is Atletico are not budging. They do not want to lose Thomas Partey. They want to sign him to a new contract. Diego Simeone is a massive admirer of Thomas Partey. He thinks he's key to Atletico going forward over the next couple of seasons, and he wants him to sign a new contract. And they have made it equally known to Arsenal that they will not be budging, and the only way that Arsenal or anyone else can sign Thomas Partey this summer is by triggering that release clause and doing a deal that way. Atletico are very strong on this. Like I said, they don't want to lose Partey, and they're very much at the moment focused on the Champions League. They play RB Leipzig in the quarter-final next month. Then they've got a possibility of either Benfica or PSG in the semi-final. So they've got a nice-looking route towards the final in the Champions League this season after the draw was made, and that's their focus. Is all about that. Thomas Partey will be playing in that Champions League game. He knows that. Arsenal know that, Atletico know that, and all the focus in Madrid is on that game. So Arsenal's stance on it, they're still hopeful they can get a deal done for Partey despite the firm stance from Atletico Madrid, and even though they've made it clear that they're not going to be meeting the release clause, they still think they've got a chance of getting a deal done. They're hoping that Atletico's stance may well soften after the Champions League is finished. Obviously, that's still a few weeks away, so it's very much a waiting game for Arsenal, and it's kind of almost playing chicken with it, because Arsenal know they need to get deals done this summer. They need to try and get the squad reshaped as Mikel Arteta wants it before the start of next season, which starts on September 12th, so it's not much turnaround time. So sort of waiting for Partey is not going to be, it's not really beneficial when you're looking at the squad for next season. But they are hoping that Atletico's stance will begin to soften over the coming weeks, and they might be able to get something done still. They're willing to offer Matteo Guendouzi to Atletico to try and sort of soften the blow of losing Partey, deal with some sort of exchange. You know, they'd have to offer money as well. But Atletico at the moment saying no, nothing's happening. Only way you're signing him is by triggering that release clause. So that's where Arsenal are with Partey at the moment. They are looking at alternatives, as you would expect they would be, as any decent club would be when they're looking at improving their squad. They'll have a list of targets: first priority, second priority, third priority. And I do know that Danilo Pereira is a alternative, the central midfielder, Portugal international at Porto, 28. So he's a year older than Partey. He also has a release clause. I think it's actually higher than Partey's release clause, but Porto understood would probably be willing to let him go for less than that. I think it's 60 million euros, Danilo's release clause. But as far as I've been told from sources over in Portugal, Arsenal have held informal talks about Danilo. There's been no formal bid or anything like that submitted to Porto. Like I said, he is very much viewed as an alternative to Partey, who they might turn to if they find out for sure they won't be able to get the Ghana international out of Atletico Madrid. I mean, Danilo's a good player. You look at his career, you know, he's a very decent player. You do wonder though, 28 years old. I know he's only a year older than Partey, but you know, is he almost past his best or very much in his prime right now? It's, if you give him a 4-year contract, suddenly you're looking at that. He's in his 30s within a couple of years. I'm not exactly convinced by it, but there you go. And there will be other alternatives as well. I'm not saying that Danilo's the only alternative. He's just the one that I've certainly been told and had confirmed that Arsenal have held informal talks over. He's very keen on the move. He's already seen, since the links to Arsenal have come out, he's done an interview talking about his admiration for Mikel Arteta, saying how it's a bit of a dream to play in the Premier League. So he's clearly very open to the move should Arsenal push forward with that. But for me, as far as I understand, Thomas Partey is still the priority, and Arsenal are still hopeful that Atletico will soften their stance over the coming weeks. But we'll have to wait and see on that. Just a couple of little bit extra news for you. William Saliba has now started training fully with the group. He came over to England last week, was training on his own, and he went back to France for the weekend to watch the St Etienne PSG Cup final. Now he's back in England and he is training with the full squad. We saw yesterday there was a picture, Arsenal Twitter obviously doesn't miss anything, a picture posted from Stuart McFarlane, the Arsenal club photographer, of training yesterday. Danny Ceballos swinging in a corner, and there in the middle you could see, although blurry, you could see it was certainly William Saliba. So that's good news for Arsenal. He's integrating himself already even before the start of pre-season. So you'd hope that's going to be really beneficial for Arsenal next season. Lots and lots of hopes resting on William Saliba that he can come in and make a type of impact that everyone is expecting. Arsenal also looking to bring in another centre-back between now and the start of the 2021 season. I talked about that in my last video or a couple of videos ago, potential targets for that. Malang Sarr is a player they like. Axel Disasi as well at Stade de Reims. Dayot Upamecano, we all know about the interest in him, but as I've said before, I still think that would be too expensive for Arsenal. But certainly it's good and encouraging to see Saliba in training already. Hopefully he'll make a big difference next season. Fingers crossed, that's what we want to see for William Saliba, and hopefully the rival players like that might help that man on the screen behind me there, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, sign his new contract. No real update on Aubameyang yet. I think we're going to find out an awful lot more once the cup final is done with, and we know exactly where Arsenal are going to be doing next season. Will they be in Europe or not? What sort of finances will they have to try and keep hold of that man there? But all I do know is that Arsenal are very keen to make sure he puts pen to paper and signs that new contract. Like I said, the next couple of weeks will be key to that. Just finally, Mesut Ozil's agent, Dr. Egert Serka, has been talking once again, just reiterating, as we all know, that Mesut won't be leaving this summer. Does say that there's a 90% chance he will leave the following summer. I think it's actually more than that, to be honest. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a 100% chance, because Arsenal aren't going to give Ozil a new contract, so he will be leaving next summer. I don't know where he's plucked the 90% figure out of, because there's no way Arsenal are going to be giving Mesut Ozil a new deal. But But yeah, he's been talking over to some Turkish media and has said that he won't be leaving this summer. He's still got his contract, which he will see out at Arsenal. We all know that. We all know how keen Arsenal are to move Mesut Ozil on. That's not a secret. But Mesut Ozil and his agent so far digging their heels in and determined to see out that last year of his contract worth 350 grand a week. Remember, that's 18 million pounds Arsenal have to pay Mesut Ozil next season. Potentially not to play football. Not ideal, certainly not ideal in the COVID era when finances are so tight, but that's the way of the world, and that's what Mesut Ozil wants to do, and it's his prerogative. It's Arsenal gave him the contract, and as much as you'd kind of hope he'd want to go out and play football instead of sitting, not even on the bench at the moment, sitting in the stands or sitting at home at a weekend, if you're going to be paying 350 grand a week, then you're perfectly in your own right to say, no, I'm not going anywhere. So that's it for this video, just a short, sharp one, updating you on what I know about Thomas Partey. And please do head over to Goal. There's a story up there about the whole Thomas Partey situation. Like I said, I'm speaking to Mikel Arteta this evening, so keep checking Goal. There'll be stories online from that after hearing what the Arsenal head coach has had to say ahead of Saturday's game. And I'll try and do another video tomorrow just previewing what's to come in terms of the FA Cup. So until then, everyone, stay safe, enjoy your day.